All right, this is our project number 5.
Okay, I have to be on the phone because my Wi-Fi is being weird. I'm at a hotel currently, so I'm on the Zoom, but just also on the phone with Brock. So this is good. Everything like that. To start off with the Lululemon ad spending, as a premium athletic and lifestyle brand, um, sorry, Lulu has been investing in heavily advertising to maintain its position in the market over the past few years. Um, it's a parent company, Lululemon Athletica Inc., which it shows right there. It's gradually increasing its ad spending based on data from Winmo and Vivek. We can see that in 2021, Lulu spent, it didn't give specifics, but it said like millions, and kind of it didn't give specific numbers when I was looking on the links. So I just provided some X, Y, and Z just because I couldn't figure the numbers, but they were um, increasing gradually. The brand primary focus is on digital media, social media, and influencer partnerships, which can lead to like Nike, Adidas, and um, Under Armour to compare because those are competitors of theirs, and they want to dominate them in TV and sports sponsorships as well. The shift also reflects like broader industry trends, which focuses on direct to consumer marketing and leveraging for social media platforms for the community-driven engagement as well. And this data also gives us insight about where we could focus our budget for upcoming campaign ideas. And then for the media budget plan, which is the next slide, it didn't give percentages again, so I kind of just for the planning kind of gave variables for the percentages, but for the first one, we could propose like a 3-month campaign that focuses on certain areas where Lululemon has strong retail presence, like New York or Los Angeles, and Chicago and those cities like that, which could give high concentration for our target audiences, giving them like active, health conscious, and fashion forward consumers and stuff like that that can really pull the audience in. Our budget kind of follows a data-driven approach, which leads into like digital ads, which can include social media, Google ads, and influence partnerships to prove the highly effective use of Lululemons and for Lululemon's audience. For TV advertising, we could focus on like lifestyle and fitness-related programming. The print media could has declined a little bit, but Lululemon still benefits from placements in high-end fitness and fashion magazines like Women's Health and Vogue. And then for out of the home or the OOH, we could plan or place billboards and transit ads near fitness centers and urban hotspots to capture the audiences when they're on the go. And then for the justification piece, that can kind of go above. It just kind of focuses on high performing channels. We really want to reach the audience so they can be pulled into all the budget plans, and then it ends with just Lululemon as a brand positioning as the lifestyle brand that they're trying to be, and it puts them in a position to get those target market behaviors. And then we'll talk about the Excel spreadsheet later. But with analyzing the past spending and allocating our budget, the media plan ensures that Lululemon could engage its audience effectively while also maintaining a strong brand presence in key markets. The campaign will just drive for awareness, engagement, and ultimately sales growth for the brand that Lulu needs.
And then for our methods used for our media budget, we're gonna use use the objective and task method. So we're basically setting a budget based off the objectives to kind of grow Lululemon to be a more national brand. And then we want to increase our brand awareness with that and also sales. I think sales is a big part of that. And that's probably going to help a lot more with efficiency and accurate budgeting in the future. It's going to help us be able to kind of know where we're at and just trying to set goals and objectives instead of just continuing what you're doing. I think it's better to continue and try to grow and instead of just staying where you're at. The other two we're going to use are percentage of sales and then cost per unit. So for percentage of sales, we're going to set a budget based off of how much basically inventory that we can sell and then base our budget off of that. So if we sell, say for an example, it's not really an accurate example, but say you sell 100 shirts, then you're basing your budget off of, hey, we need a budget off of 200 shirts if we're going to try to grow our brand more. Um, just by looking at past sales and trying to setting goals and getting back into the um, objective method. The cost per unit method, that's for through media spending, so that's through advertising and trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to advertise our brand, whether that's we'll get into this, but the CPPs or the CPMs, and then getting a budget around that as well. I think if you kind of blend the three, it'll be better rather than just focusing on one method. You can use three instead of one to try to create a bigger, well-known brand. These are just examples, but we're going to use the CPMs, so the cost per thousands. It's going to be a higher rate just because Lululemon is a higher quality company of clothes, so you're going to be paying more rather than Walmart would be paying for their clothes. Um, it's also a smaller demographic to advertise to because of it's the demographic Lululemon attacks is obviously like yoga and health influencers and also um, very fitness oriented people. Um, this is another example of for the rate being 5 to 20. YouTube ads are 10 to 20 in ad space, but that's also going up depending on how much ad space you want in YouTube. So you're paying for your ad space, and 10 to 20 would probably just be close to a smaller YouTuber. So if you we would probably want to attack the bigger channels to get our brand out there, which would be more money. Also we can use a cost per click rate, which is getting ads out onto the web, and then when people click on that, then we want to pay for their clicks basically. So that could be in Google, Safari, Pinterest, Twitter, TikTok. Anytime you want to get somebody to click on your ad, you want to be in those social media platforms. It's not as expensive as a CPM method. Um, it's because they're basically pop-up ads, so they're not running any media time. Um, but it also gives us a broader audience and viewers if we're on multiple platforms at one time instead of YouTube. Um, it'll be easier to reach people that have never either seen or heard of it or kind of are more interested and don't really know what Lululemon is as a company. But it's also still going to be at the higher price because it's higher quality clothing and you kind of want to make a return on your investment. I'll just throw this in before you explain the Excel spreadsheet. These are rough numbers, but also we were planning on doing a fall marketing campaign. So obviously the annual campaign for 12 months is going to be a lot more expensive than what's actually on the Excel sheet.
Yeah, and then pretty much just for an overview, the outlines on the spreadsheet kind of just project the cost for different types of marketing campaigns, breaking them into categories like national marketing, local marketing, public relations, etc. But just kind of to explain a couple of the things, like with the national marketing, a single initiative with total projected costs of 400, which includes banner ads, and then you go into the local marketing where there's newspaper ads, outdoor advertising, and in-store marketing. These are all just, like Brock said, broad because we were going to focus on fall. But then you get into like public relations where they have public events, sponsorships, press releases, and then you just keep going down. And then the pie chart also just kind of gives a good perspective of kind of like looking at the numbers on the left of the pie chart. You don't really see like the difference. Then you look at the pie chart, you see the color differences of just like the difference between, for example, national marketing and market research. Like the slivers are just so different, and the money piece varies too. But also, it's just good to know that the total projected budget across all marketing is 46,300. And some of these numbers just focus on specific things within each category. So it's like Brock said, a little rough, but the numbers are there, and we did the best we could, I guess.
And then there's references.